Hey everyone, welcome to week 4 of the Wild Woman Yoga series. I'm Lexi, and our theme for class today is fierce. So get into some comfortable clothes, find your space, and I will meet you on your mat. So we're going to start class in a comfortable seated position. You could sit cross-legged, you could sit on a pillow or blanket, or maybe just on the mat with your heels stacked one in front of the other. And we're just going to start connecting to the breath, so you can rest your wrists on your knees and maybe close the eyes. And let's just tune in to the breath. And when the palms are faced up like this, you're in kind of a receptive position. So maybe set an intention of what you would like to receive today. Breathing into the lowest part of your belly. Filling up the pelvis. And elongating the spine here as if you had a cord attached to the crown of your head that was lifting you gently so that your spine was straight. Let's take one more big breath, maybe the biggest breath that you've taken today. Inhale. And exhale, let it go. And you can open the eyes. And we're going to start with just a couple of neck stretches to get some movement in the body. So you can gently tilt your head to the right side and just allow the ear to melt towards the shoulder. No forcing, just allowing gravity to work on the head here. And just hold and continue to breathe. While we start to think about our theme for class today, fierceness. Breathing into any tightness in the left side of the neck. Fierceness is something that may be foreign to you or may be very, very familiar to you. And on an inhale, you can bring the head back to center and lower gently to the left side. But this fierceness that we're talking about today is not about aggressiveness or invading other people's space, but rather taking up space and not holding yourself back. You may identify with feeling like you have this good girl complex, always have to be nice, so sweet to everybody that you're practically fattening. I read that in a book once. Resonated a little too deeply. Inhale to center. And maybe look to the right. On an exhale. And being nice is fine, but giving all of our energy to please others, to perform, also leaves room for a lot of resentment and not a lot of room for emotions that are deemed not so pretty. Inhale to center. And exhale, look to the left. Like anger and grief and annoyance, all of these are emotions that everyone has. And it's okay. You don't have to be nice all the time to be kind. And if you're watching this, it means you're at a place in your life where maybe you're ready to question some of the things you were taught to be as a woman. And start thinking about if they resonate with who you really are. Inhale to center. And exhale. And who are you when you shut the door? And everybody leaves the house. Do you feel relieved? And do you feel like you can be yourself? And can we come back to who we are without the teachings of culture and society and relationship? Okay. Come to the hands and begin to massage the hands with your right hand. Massage your left hand. Really digging in with the thumb to the palm, paying special attention to this area of the thumb here. And even up to the fingers, massaging each finger. And moving to the the right hand, massaging the palm, pad of the thumb, and each finger. And then rolling out the wrists, maybe in one direction and then the other. And in that spirit of taking up space, reach the right hand all the way out to one side and the left hand out to one side. Spreading the fingertips, maybe little spirit fingers. And inhale, palms touch overhead. Gaze towards the thumbs. Take another breath in. And exhale, open twist to the right. Right hand towards the back of the room or space you're in. And just feel the sensation of the twist. Allowing your body to take up space beyond your mat today. Inhale, arms up. Palms touch. Exhale, open twist to the left. I used to know somebody that would say, let your armpits breathe, as if you've been taught to take up less space emotionally, physically. Sometimes we walk around the world like this, so close to the body, curled up. So let your armpits breathe. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms out like a goalpost. Fingers spread wide, heart shining towards the sky. You can lift the chin gently. And lift the palms overhead, palms touch. And exhale, pull hands through heart center. We're going to come into a tabletop position. So wrists stacked under your shoulders, knees stacked under the hips. We're going to do a few rounds of cat-cow, really exaggerating the cat-cow here. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. Exhale, rounding in the back, tucking the chin and pelvis. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the chest. Exhale, rounding in the back, rounding in the shoulders and the pelvis. And keeping with that, if you've started with small movements, see how exaggerated you can get involving the shoulders and pelvis. And one more. And finding a neutral spine, maybe swaying the hips a little bit. And then walk the hands forward, tucking the toes, and come briefly to a plank position. And then lowering the knees, chest, and coming onto the forearms. Palms down on the mat. You can untuck the toes here. Your elbows, forgot the word for elbows, elbows under shoulders, and pushing the ground away with the elbows, finding a lift. Gaze straight ahead, palms pressing into the mat for Sphinx pose. Also press into the mat with your pelvis, lifting the knees a little. Waking up the low back, but focusing primarily on opening in the chest here and not so much in crunching the low back. But you may feel some sensation there. Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale, release down. Maybe stacking the forearms, forehead to the top of the arms, and you can bend at the knees and windshield wiper from side to side. And then lowering the feet, lifting the head, and lifting the chest again here. Extend the arms out to the top corners of the mat, or maybe a bit lower, and onto the fingertips. Using the fingertips, pressing into the floor and lifting the chest. And then when you're here, just kind of finding your balance or your comfortable position for the hands. Maybe play around a little bit closer to the body, a little bit farther away. The farther your hands are away from, the farther your hands are forward, the less of a bend you'll have in the back. So maybe play around with that. And wherever you are, you can stay here. This is a great place to be. You could just stay here and every so often come lower down. But if it feels good for you, you can experiment with dropping one shoulder to the earth. So maybe start with the left, kind of sinking that left shoulder down and looking to the right side, and lifting on an inhale and dropping the right shoulder on an exhale. Being gentle, exploring the joints. There's something about being on the fingertips that just feels like animalistic, I guess. I think we could all use a little more animal spirit. And take one more on each side if this is what you've decided to do in practice today. And then everyone just lowering down, once again, stacking the forearms, bending at the knees, and windshield wiper the feet from side to side. And then as you're ready, lowering the feet to the ground, tops of the feet to the mat. Extend the left arm out to the side, like half a T here. And you can lower the left side of the head to the mat, grounding the right palm in front of the right rib cage, and rolling gently onto the left side. Your right tippy toes come to the outside of the left leg. So stay on your toes here. Maybe even come onto the fingertips of the right hand. Take a few breaths. If this is very uncomfortable, you can just roll gently some of your weight towards the right. That should take some of the pressure off of your left arm. Take 3 more breaths. And bring the right leg back over to meet the left and roll onto the stomach. And take the same position on the opposite side. Extend the right leg out, right arm out. Come onto the right side of the head. Left palm plants in front of the left rib and roll onto the right side. Bringing that left foot back on your tippy toes on the outside of the right leg. And just relax. If you notice any holding in the body, any tension, see if you can just breathe into it and release. When we gently press at the edges of our body's flexibility, when we take these different shapes of the body, we're also telling our mind that we don't need to be so rigid. mentally, emotionally, physically, that we can bend and choose different thoughts, different behaviors, if it serves us. 3 more breaths. And unwinding, lifting the left toes off the earth and bringing left foot to meet the right, rolling onto the belly. Maybe you just want to roll from side to side, equalizing. And from here, pushing back onto hands and knees. And bringing the right foot in between the hands. Bringing the right hand on the inside of the foot and walking your foot out to like the outside of the mat. Turning the right toes out just a bit. Maybe squaring the hands out under the shoulders. And finding a lizard pose. You may need to scoot that left leg back a bit to find a comfortable position. Maybe walk the hands out a little more. And again, finding some broadness in the chest. Gazing forward. You can find stillness or a little movement, opening up the hips. Sometimes it's nice to take the right hand and press the right knee away from the body. And if you're interested, you can always come onto the forearms if that feels good for you. Today I'm just feeling this palms on the earth position. And if you've been moving, maybe take just 3 breaths in stillness, pushing the earth away with your palms and gazing forward. Walking the right foot back in between the hands, framing the foot, and bringing it back to a tabletop position. Again, swaying the hips from side to side maybe. Before we go on the left side, bringing the left foot in between the hands. You could always use that left hand to help bring it up. Sometimes it's reluctant. And then bringing the left hand in between, on the inside of the left foot and walking the left foot out. Toes pointing slightly out. And then maybe walking the right foot back a bit or walking the hands forward. Finding your lizard pose on the opposite side. Pushing the ground away. Lifting the gaze. Maybe swaying, maybe pushing the left knee away with the left hand. And if it serves you in practice, coming down onto the forearms or staying up high. And wherever you are, finding stillness. For 3 more breaths. Sending the breath to any tightness in the body. And then slowly, maybe shifting the weight back just a bit and walking that left foot back in between the hands. Once you find stability in the hands, framing the left foot, you can bring it back to a tabletop position. And maybe shift back and forth here. And then ultimately tucking the toes and walking the hands back, coming up to a standing position. From here, come to the middle of the mat, stepping the feet out wide, maybe like 3 feet wide. And then turn the toes out to the corners of your mat there. We're going to come into a goddess pose. So bending in the knees, finding some stability. And you can play around with hands here. Try them out and then check in and see, what does my body want to do today? So once you find some stability, grounding into the 4 corners of the feet, distributing your weight, and then either bringing the arms up overhead, palms touching, maybe a little bend in the elbow, or cactusing the arms like we did earlier, or maybe arms out to each side. And also keep the palms on the thighs if that serves you. I think I'm going to take cactus arms, spreading fingers wide. And you can keep the eyes open. That helps with balance. Or if you're feeling frisky, you can close the eyes. And maybe bend a little deeper. If your arms are cactused, shine the heart forward. 3 more breaths. And straightening the legs. Give yourself a little rest. Before bending in to the pose once again, everyone taking your hands to the thighs and bringing the left shoulder, dipping it down, gaze goes up to the right. Inhaling to center and exhale, dip the right shoulder. And continuing like this, inhaling to come up just a bit and exhaling to dip at your own pace. One more on each side. And straightening. Nice. Heel toeing the feet. So they're about a little bit bigger than hips width distance. And coming down to a squat position. If you have pillows, that could be helpful to just rest your sit bones on your pillows. If this is comfortable for you, then you can kind of do it without that. Either way, we're going to be alternating going on the knife edge of one foot and then the other. So the knife edge is your pinky edge of the foot. So let's start on the right, coming on the knife edge of the right foot and onto the tippy toes of the left. You can stay high on the fingertips here as we do that. Inhaling to center and exhaling to the knife edge of the left foot. Tippy toes of the right. And play here. Maybe you sync breath to movement, maybe you don't. Maybe you find that one side needs to stretch for a bit longer. And then coming to rest. Maybe bring the hands, palms together, elbows pushing against the knees, and finding some stillness. As you're ready, bringing the hands apart and behind you and coming to sit. If you had a pillow, you can remove the pillow from your sit bones and extend the legs out right to left. Finding length in the spine again. Maybe walk the hands out just for a second on the fingertips, or if it's in your practice, coming down onto the forearms, flexing the feet. And then walking back. Bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. And gently, with your fingertips to the earth, twist the torso so that it's almost as if you have the intention of folding your belly button over your left thigh. Once you have that twist, inhale, and exhale, come forward. You can bring the hands to the knee, to the calf. You can grip the foot if you like. Being gentle here and maintaining some length in the spine so as not to just curve over the leg. And keeping that flex in the left foot. Maybe taking some time here while you're here to gently massage the leg. And on an inhale, lifting. Bring the right hand behind you, plant it firmly on the earth, and then lift the hips and bring the left arm overhead, over the ear, so your bicep is near your ear. You can stay here on the left heel, maybe come on the left toes, really finding that line of energy from the left toes to the left fingertips. And pressing into that right shin to lift you. And exhale, come down. And switch the position of the legs, extending the right leg out, left sole of the foot to the right thigh. And coming onto the fingertips to twist the body gently to the right, and exhale, fold forward. You might find that this side feels a little different. Maybe you can go a little bit further on the leg or not as far as you did on the left side. And always just approaching the body with curiosity rather than judgment. And again, maybe massaging the leg wherever you are on the leg and flexing those toes back towards the shin. Maybe closing the eyes and doing a quick scan of the body. And if you notice tension, that can be released with the breath. Sometimes we hold in the body for no reason. I can maybe hear you're holding tension in the arms somewhere. The arms can be relaxed. Maybe in the glutes or the face. Just see if you could breathe and release the tension. And inhale, coming up. Planting the left hand behind the left hip. And lifting the hips and the arm overhead. Don't lift your hips overhead, that'd be crazy. Lift the hips and bring your arm overhead. Maybe staying on the right heel or maybe coming on the right toes. Feeling that line of energy from the right toes to the right fingertips, reaching back. And pressing in to the earth with the right shin, left shin. And on an exhale, release. Bringing the feet together. Maybe bouncing the knees up and down a little bit. And then on an inhale, lengthening the spine, and exhale, walk forward just a little bit. Walking the hands back. Give a quick, gentle massage to the feet. And then finding your way onto your back. Knees bent, so knees towards the sky, feet on the mat, palms on the mat. And we're gonna find a little movement in the pelvis here. Similar to when we were doing cat-cow in the beginning of class. Gonna on an inhale, arch the back a bit, tilting the pelvis back. And exhale, tilt the pelvis forward towards the sky without lifting the low back from the earth. So if you wanna just take a quick look at the video, you'll see the pelvis. Inhale, tilting it forward, and exhale, tilting it back towards the face. And just do that a couple of times. And on your next exhale, lift the hips for a bridge pose. You can walk the shoulder blades underneath the body. If that helps. You could also grab opposite sides of the mat and pull it apart and then walk the shoulder blades underneath. Sometimes that helps. It also helps to lift the hips as you do that. And energetically drawing the thighs towards one another. And exhale, just release. Maybe swaying the knees from side to side. And then taking whatever final posture you feel like your body needs. Maybe you want to extend one leg and bring the other into the chest and do a quick twist. Maybe you want to draw in tight, hugging your knees into the body. Or maybe you want to stretch out long, arms overhead and legs extended. Or maybe you want to do all of it, like me. And then eventually, as you're ready, coming to a comfortable position on your back. If it is uncomfortable to be on your back, you can always bring pillows underneath the upper body. Sometimes that is helpful. Sometimes people like to put the pillows under the backs of their knees as well. Find what is good for you. And wherever you are, maybe palms up to receive, maybe palms down to go inward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Maybe give audible sound to the breath. Inhale. Take up space on the mat. Maybe bring the feet out to the outer edges. Make room for the thighs. Make room for the arms. You belong here. All parts of you belong here. No holding back. Maybe gently pat on the belly, release tension. No sucking in the stomach, no sucking in anywhere. Take up space. Let the armpits breathe. And settle in. We'll be here for a little bit. Slowly begin to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently coming to one side of the body. Taking your time, feeling supported by the earth. And as you're ready, press up into a seat. And allow your wrists to rest on the knees, palms open. And maybe extend 2 fingers, curling the rest in, 2 fingers on each hand, left hand, pointer finger and middle finger to the forehead, right hand, pointer finger and middle finger, right above the belly button. Who were you taught to be? Who in your mind do you feel like you have to be? How do you feel like you have to behave in order for everyone else to feel comfortable and happy? And in your center, in your being, who are you really? Are these people the same? Maybe. And if not, what is it that you would like to change to find congruence and peace in your life? Release the hands and bring the palms together. Thumbs touching at heart center. I thank you for sharing practice with me today. May you be well and may you be fierce.